Sarah had always dreamed of quiet. That's why she bought the old cabin, tucked deep into the woods, just outside the sleepy town of Blackwood. She pictured peaceful mornings, fresh air, and only the rustling of leaves for company. Her first few weeks were exactly that. But then she needed some lumber for a new porch step, and that's when she met him. At the hardware store, she felt eyes on her. A man, tall and gaunt, with a faded cap pulled low, was watching her from the next aisle. When she finally made eye contact, his stare was like a cold hand on her throat. He just stood there, unmoving, until she hurried away with her purchases. That was just the beginning. Soon, Sarah started seeing him everywhere. Pulling into the general store parking lot, she'd spot his beat-up, dark blue pickup truck already there. Driving home on the winding back roads, she'd sometimes see it parked just off the main path, partially hidden by trees, as if waiting. One afternoon, after she'd spent hours clearing brush around her property, she found a small, smooth riverstone on her porch step, right by the welcome mat. It wasn't a common stone for the area. It felt placed. A message. He wasn't just observing from afar anymore, he was getting closer. One night, a brutal storm rolled in. Thunder cracked like artillery fire, and the rain hammered down, turning the winding road to Sarah's cabin into a muddy river. Then, the power flickered and died, plunging her into total darkness. She lit a few lanterns, the flickering light making the cabin feel even more isolated. That's when she heard it, a soft, persistent knocking at her door. Her heart leaped into her throat. She crept to the window, pulling back a corner of the curtain. Standing on her porch, drenched but unmoving, was the man from the hardware store. His face, illuminated briefly by a flash of lightning, held that same unsettling, unblinking stare. He didn't say a word, just watched the door, waiting. Sarah didn't move. She just stood there, her breath catching in her chest, until the knocking finally stopped and the heavy thud of footsteps faded away. She stayed by the window, watching, until the first hint of dawn. The storm had passed, but the chill it left in her bones had nothing to do with the weather. He was gone, but the silence felt heavier, more menacing than before. She knew, deep down, that leaving wasn't an option for her cabin. So she bought heavier locks, installed motion sensor lights, and always kept her phone charged. The woods didn't feel like home anymore. They felt like a cage, and she was always looking over her shoulder, wondering when the Watcher would appear again.